Welcome to my video on 9 things that we shouldn't even be doing anymore. Just not even think about it anymore. I'll just go through it. But first, kind of catch you up on what was happening since the last video I did. I was taking a listen to Rob the Maritimer's channel, and he was talking about balance in life and basically burning yourself out. And what I was finding when I was doing videos every day was I was unbalanced and other things in my life was dropping, right? Including Annie. And I was wanting to get a hold of my guitar and get learning that again.
And she's a thing of beauty, and she sounds really, really good. I love this one.
That never happened. And I do have guests over at the chalet, and they're those 3 ladies that like to embroider, so they're leaving tomorrow. And yesterday, Owen and I and Jazz took a walk on the trails in the forest, and we spotted what we think is black bear. So I took a look on the Google, and it looks very similar to the American black bear poop, and so I sent a message out with photos to the neighbors whose numbers I have, just to give them a heads up to watch their animals, to make sure they don't have food and garbages outside and that kind of a thing. Yeah. So I'm going to have a sit-down chat. Now, this past week has been fairly busy. It started with taking Jasmine to see our doctor. Now, that's hard enough as it is to get in. And so there we were, the 3 of us in his office. Now, I know that I had said that this was going to be 9 things to stop caring about when you're 60. Now, these few things I'm talking about now were things I really do care about. Now, we were at the appointment for Jasmine, just going over her disability forms and checking her over yearly. And when our appointment was done, he kind of looked over at me and he's like, "Mrs. Solent, how are you doing? How's your labs doing? How's your blood pressure doing?" Well, I have been checking it, and it's been up all over the place. Stupid high, almost normal. And so he decided that both Jasmine and I need to go get some lab work done, and he's setting me up to have a 24-hour blood pressure monitoring, and that will be happening on the 1st of October before our appointment on the 8th. Now, Friday is the day I picked to do the lab work because Owen's home, and now Jasmine hasn't had blood drawn on her since she was a baby, so it might not go so swell. So I figured that Owen should be there to help out. We did get a prescription for some EMLA numbing cream to put on her arms there with a bandage over top, just to numb things out before we go get the blood drawn. And so that's on the cooker for this week. And the other thing we had going this week was we have 2 rental properties, one in Red Deer, one in Innisfail, and the lady that's in the one in Innisfail is my old home. And she's just a wonderful, wonderful lady, and she was the one that helped us out so much with Jasmine when she was her first 5 years of life, especially. And she sent a picture of some damage that was happening to the under the window of the house, and so Owen did go in there and repair all that. And so that was just to take care of her and make sure everything's going well with her. And we'll be checking in and checking around as far as the deck and stuff, and making sure everything is okay and safe, because she does have a day home there. We just want to make sure everything's okay for her. Now, a bonus thing that I don't have time for anymore is a lot of the stuff that's been happening online and in the news, and there's just so much of it from the United States, and it's bleeding into Canada, and it's really difficult to watch and to see what my friends, my relatives are posting. It's very frustrating. It gets the blood pressure going, and so it's like, I think mute and snooze and just wait until the latest crisis is over with, till things calm down a bit and people are less angry and wanting a war to start. And so, yeah, it's one of the things I just don't need to be dealing with. Life is great out here. There's nothing I can do about anything there. So that is just the bonus one that I'll just be tossing out there. Now, as far as the other 9, I'm going to kind of tell you all about it as we follow our last trail walk. And so you don't have to keep watching my face. Maybe something nicer to look at, the trail.
Now, our entire acreage, all 3 parts of it, are built on a giant hill of beach sand. And although it's lovely to play around in, it doesn't grow much, so we have to haul in dirt to do all of our gardens. What we've noticed happening in the last week or 2 is how quickly we are turning into the autumn season. The leaves are falling, our steps are very crunching, the smell in the air is just lovely. Fall is such a wonderful time. Now, one of the first things that we should just stop caring about is all of our past mistakes. Now, I know I've made so many, I don't even know where to start with it. But unless one of us is Jesus Christ, we have all made mistakes. And although there are a few people, at least in my life, who think that they have never made a mistake in their whole entire life, I'm pretty sure we all have. There's a power in handling these mistakes. Take the time to look at them over. If apologies should be made, do it. Sincerely, then let it go. Reparations, if it's possible, do it.
Nope.
If there's nothing to be done anymore, then you have to let it go. Kind of like the leaves in the wind. No sense in self-flagellating year after year over things one can't change.
Hurry up, Jazz.
The next thing to stop caring so much about is body image. Now, the standards for fitness and beauty can get pretty brutal, especially if you're female, if you let it. Now, look after your health as best you can. Check out those weird moles. See your doctor on the regular to assess any internal issues that need to be handled. On my case, it's issues to do with blood pressure. My dad has congestive heart failure. I need to watch this kind of a thing. And I'm working on losing the weight, in part because of vanity, but also in part because of blood pressure and all the issues that the excess weight has on your physical self. It's kind of like taking your car in for the fall tune-up. We're all aging if we haven't passed away yet. One of the things that does bug me, though, is those wrinkle creams. Now, all the ads for wrinkle creams that I can find are the 20-year-olds putting this cream on or using that light therapy wand. They're 20. They don't have the jowls yet that we have. They don't have the wrinkles that we have. They should use people that are kind of like us and see if it actually works on us. Now, what you're looking at is an old jump that's in our forest. There's a few of them throughout the trails. There used to be a Gymkhana that rented the campsite area, and they would ride through here, and now you can see the ropes had grown through the trees. It's actually kind of fun, and I'll try to figure out something cute to do with it. Now, another thing to stop caring about is other people's opinions, and that's a huge one. Now, I know when I was younger, especially as a child in my 20s, 30s, I was always concerned and worried about pleasing and making everybody around me happy, and that didn't do my life very well. I felt a shift in me in my 40s and 50s, and now that I'm 60, oh my goodness, it feels so good right now to care less and less about other people's opinions. Now I want to live my own full life full of my interests: horses, instruments, reading, my people, which are Owen and Jasmine as my closest circle, and my priorities, my health and my wellness. Another one is the expectations of after 60, that we have to look a certain way, act a certain way, dress a certain way. I am more interested in comfort, but I'm not the old grandma in the rocking chair. I have a lot of things to do in my life, and my life isn't shrinking, it's actually growing, and I'm quite happy about that.
Just say. Into the forest, the deep, dark, enchanted forest. I'll be back.
What'd you
forgot
forget?
the leash on the bench there. The old guy isn't getting too bad for forgetting. We only got 300 yards away.
Another one to get rid of is trying to control everybody and everything in all the situations. This just leads to driving you crazy. The only thing that you can control is your own actions and to an extent your own thoughts. I've been working on the Mel Robbins book called The Let Them Theory, and that's actually quite meaningful for me. Whatever the other ones do, just let them. You have no control over it.
Gonna catch up, Megalodon?
Similar with control issues is also getting rid of the being right all the time. We can get set in our ways as we age. Have you ever met some of these people that are just right all the time, no matter what? They're never wrong. It gets kind of obnoxious. Ask for help if you don't know. Learn new things and use your beginner mind. Be curious. For me, I've never taken riding lessons. I just started a few months ago, and I'm a 8-year-old now on a horse in my mind. Admit your mistakes. Revise your thinking as new information comes along. That's what science and research is all about. We need to stop competing with others, and women are quite guilty of this, especially when they're younger. They compete in the workplace. They compete while dating. They compete while raising their kids. They got to have the best kids. It's the obnoxious parent yelling at the coaches.
Are you coming? Which way? Well, we're going in the normal way. We've already been down the hidden trail. We'll keep to the main path. We'll keep to Rocky Road.
It's time to create personal goals. Compete against yourself if you must. Fitness goals. That's who I'm competing against. I'm competing against myself. Work towards those that address your current priorities. That's the plan that I'm following.
Actually, it's the letter J. Letter J.
J for Jasmine.
J. For J. Girl.
Another one is the holding on to of old friendships or relationships. Now, as we age, friendships are very good for us for our mental well-being, and it helps us live longer and better. But some old relationships need to be snipped away, kind of like pulling the bad weeds out of the garden to let the good plants flourish more. Assess your friends, including your family, to see whether they are weeds or healthy for you plants. Set your boundaries or set the toxic loose. Now, one of the more difficult issues that I am having to care less about is the issue of finding closure in things that have happened in my life. I have sought closure for 7 years on the issue of estrangement from my family, and I still don't have closure for it. And then I saw this meme floating around Facebook saying that closure is not ever going to happen. The lack of respect was the closure. The lack of apologies was the closure. Digging their heels in and doubling down on disrespect was the closure. The lack of care, accountability, and honesty, that was the closure. So that's my list of top 9 plus a bonus things of stuff I've stopped caring about after 60. Honestly, life feels lighter when you stop dragging around other people's expectations, old mistakes, and the desperate chase for youth. Here's my new mantra: care deeply about the things that matter and snooze the rest. There are just so many more things that we could stop caring about after 60. Do your senior years however you want. This is your one life as you know it, to live on this spinning ball called Earth. You want a full face of makeup and color your hair? Just do it. You want your hair to go to its natural color? Let it. Tattoos are only for the young? Not if you want to get one. As Nike said, just do it. Wear what you want. The leggings and tunics. Mrs. Roper's muumuus. I have quite a few of those. The old ripped work shirt. Be free and be comfortable. Now, speaking of living life on your own terms, there's this little area in here off the trail to the left. And there's an opening in there you can see on ahead. I would love to put up a cabin in there for guests to come, kind of a little witchy cabin where there's herbs hanging to dry and all that kind of lotions and potions going on. I would just really love to do that, and that's one of my goals for the future for our enchanted forest. And I'm thinking this way because life is just so short. I was at riding lessons yesterday, and I was talking to Cowboy Daryl. He's turning 63 here on the weekend, and that's one of the things that he mentioned. There's just a whole lot more time behind than there is ahead of him. And as we get older, our hours of time in each day get more and more precious. You are in control of how you spend that time and with whom. Live your life on your own terms. So tell me, what have you stopped caring about since hitting 60? Drop it in the comments. We can build a whole stop caring list together.